What's going on?
What's happening, bro? You good?
Man, I'm good, bro. What you been up to? Enjoying the quarantine?
Man, trying to figure out what I can get out of this.
Yeah. Well, real quick, bro. First of all, I gotta say I've been talked to Grammy Award winners. I done talked to NBA championship winners before. I talked to Iman Shumpter a couple of weeks ago. I've never talked to an Emmy Award winner, man. Congratulations, Ron Flynn.
Appreciate you, bro. That's what's up, man. Thank you.
Now, people might not know, bro. You from the Midwest. You from Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Chicago.
Oh, you were born in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I saw something about some Springfield.
Yeah, I used to live in Springfield too. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was born in Chicago, then when I got a little older, my mom, moved us all to Springfield.
Okay. So how long were you in Springfield?
I mean, most of my high school years,
Okay.
when I was a little younger and stuff. My
Uh-huh.
mom's still there. She had a restaurant there right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
how's she doing with that? I know this whole pandemic is going on.
I
Is
mean,
she
she's doing well.
okay?
She a star, man. She doing she a bigger star than me out there, man. They love
Really?
the food. Yeah.
What type of food is it?
Like soul food.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Is
fire, man. She be having everybody in there, man.
That's what I'm about to say. Is it five? Because some people be saying that they can make soul food, bro, and they
Nah,
food.
it's different. You gotta see it. Her page, I just posted her in my story, so if y'all wanna wonder what her food look like, go look at it.
Okay. You gotta look at the plate. If the plate, if the plate
Yeah,
don't.
it's different, man. I brought her out here to LA,
Uh,
and she cooked for the cast, for How to
okay.
Get Away. With
Okay.
her, and then yeah, they were like, every time I saw them after that, they were like, when your mom coming back?
Right. Now, like you said, you grew up in Springfield. You're born here in Chicago, then you moved to Springfield,
uh,
and then I read something where you came back to Chicago and you were like
mhm.
modeling and stuff back at home.
Yeah, no, so when I was younger, probably my mom, got remarried. Well, she got married again in Springfield with someone else.
Okay.
And but living in Chicago growing up, yeah, I mean, I lived on the South Side. I used to live in the hundreds. My
Okay.
dad used to live in the K-Town, and
Okay.
like I mentioned before, uh, definitely spent a lot of time with some shelters there too. That Salvation Army that's on the North Side. I used
Uh-huh.
to live there when I was younger. So I mean, I definitely grew up in Chicago, but we moved when I was younger because it
Okay.
really wasn't safe.
Okay.
And so we started living in Springfield around, I don't know what year it was though. But yeah, I ended up coming back to Chicago because my grandma still lives there. I still got a lot
Okay.
of family there and cousins there, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So I went back there to actually take care of her. Um, and like she had surgery on her hip, so she wasn't able to really walk. And so I tried to kill two birds with one stone. So I didn't want to, I didn't have the money to get a place to live in Chicago.
Hmm.
So, I was staying with her and helping her, taking her to therapy,
Yeah.
physical therapy. And then when I was able to, I was going to auditions and stuff, like downtown, because I used
Okay.
to be with Lily's Talent, which is a talent agency
Okay.
in Chicago. But I never really modeled though. I don't know where that came from, but I
Wikipedia.
I never
I
really
don't know.
modeled. I did one thing actually. I did one like runway thing in Chicago, but that was like the only thing I had ever done. But yeah, Wikipedia, man. I've had to try to check that a couple times, but yeah, I went back to Chicago for a couple of months, and then from that, my grandma got better. I went back, to Springfield where my mom was living, and I ended up moving, eventually moving from Peoria where my dad lives up to LA, driving.
Okay. So obviously, you're familiar with WGCI, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in Chicago.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I used to
So
listen every day on the way, when I was so when we moved to Springfield,
mhm.
I still was going back and forth after my grandmother got better, after I moved in with her for a little bit. And that drive from Springfield was like 2.5
Yeah.
hours. So I
Mhm.
was driving back and forth to, go to my auditions every other day,
Yeah.
there and back.
Yeah.
And shit, WGCI, that was on the only channel I
Yeah.
had on.
Yeah, I'm born and raised here, and I've never even been to Springfield before, so I don't even
Yeah.
know if the radio station cuts out
I,
going to
I I think
Springfield.
it come in like when you get like an hour and a half like close to Chicago, it comes in.
Okay, Okay.
Well, it ain't too bad, you know.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to commend you. You said something about how you were living back in Chicago, taking care of your grandmother.
Yeah,
It's funny because I get, as I've gotten older, people that you thought that you would never, that were raising you. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah,
And then you having to take that step and to help them out in their needs. You know what I'm saying? I commend you for doing that because a lot of people can be scared off by having to take care of their parents, their
100%.
grandmothers, or somebody like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. You know, I love my grandma, man. I wish I could see her more. You know,
Yeah.
she real religious, man. You know, so I can't tell her some of the stuff I'll be playing in, man.
Uh-huh.
She like, why don't you do one of them movies where, you know, I grew up watching Veggie Tales, you know.
Yeah.
She like, why don't you do something like that? I'm like, Grandma, it don't really work like that, you know.
Uh, what
But
you what do you miss the most about being back home?
I mean, my family. You know, I'm the only one on the West Coast that lives this far out. Um, yeah, and the food too, man. You know, I miss eating pizza puffs, man. I haven't ate a pizza puff in
Pizza
forever,
puffs.
bro.
I done
Yeah, and I
grown
was
out
younger. Huh?
of I done grown out of pizza puffs. I ain't
Nah, I mean, I just I need a little reminder, man. You know, I haven't had one in a minute. You
uh
know, but yeah, my family, man, most definitely.
yeah, because I know it's a lot of y'all. I read, I don't know if Wikipedia was wrong with this.
Mhm.
It's like you have like six siblings or five,
There's 8 of us total.
eight of you total.
Yeah,
And are you the only one in the entertainment game?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So how
Yeah.
was it like growing up and what made you want to be this entertainer?
I don't know. You know, and out of every big family, like you have uh, like one kid who just wants the attention that's not getting it. That was me.
Yeah.
You know, like I think growing up in a big family, like you had to figure out what it is that you were good at. You
Hmm.
know, because it wasn't just one or two of us. So my mom, you know, being really the only one that was around more so than my father was, um, she had to wear all the hats. You know, and so my older sister got, you know, she got all the shoes, you know, she got all the J's and all the shit that
Yeah.
came out, and whoever could fit her shoes after that got those shoes, you know. And for me, I couldn't fit them shoes, so I'm like, damn, you know, I we had to get our different kind of, you know, stuff down from our siblings. So
Yeah.
I figured growing up, I just wanted to make people laugh, man. So I like at an early age, I started like doing impressions and like doing accents and just doing all. I thought that shit was just really entertaining to me as like an escape, you
Right.
know. And you know, my mom used to always be like, "Come on here and that impression you was doing earlier. Do that Denzel Washington impression."
Uh-huh.
Or you know, and that was like my thing, you know. And then so when I got to LA, I think I was able to kind of conceptualize myself being someone else because I had been doing it for so long already.
Hmm.
But it wasn't nothing, like I never took drama class or anything. Like, you know, I never took singing classes or anything back then. I mean, it really wasn't super cool to sing and like be in the arts and shit when I was growing up, you
Yeah.
know. So I had to develop that on my own, like without anybody knowing. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So it just ended up, you know, being a part of my purpose.
Okay. So then you got into the acting game. So
Yeah.
what made you like leave Chicago? A lot of times, it could be scary. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It could be
I
scary to
mean,
follow that dream.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I have been through a lot of my life already, you
Hmm.
know, and growing up, I always had to figure it out, you know, even with my mom or the shit that we had gone through.
Yeah.
This stuff kind of felt small to me, you know, coming out to LA. Um, you know, I have been through real life situations, you know, and you know, going through so many different things like that. Coming out here, you know, I was just like, what is it to be really scared of, you know? And
Yeah.
I just knew I just needed to get here
Hmm.
and that everything else was going to take care of itself. I just didn't know how I was going to get here because, you know, it's really hard to save money when you don't have those, you ain't taught those kind of practices growing
Right.
up, you know. So my idea of coming out here, I'm like, damn, I got to save money. I got to be able to pay rent and all this stuff. And you really don't ever save anything, you know. You just kind of. So I ended up not really saving money, but just making my way out here anyway. And I'm a hustler, man, you know. So I knew when I got out here, you know, I was just ready to hit the ground running.
Okay. So then you moved on out here to LA. Your first, because I kind of got in tune with you through Haves and Have Nots,
Okay.
but your first role, was it Drumline or something like that?
Yeah, my first like major production role was for VH1. Yeah,
Okay.
drumline. It was like my
Okay.
first big role. I actually did a project for my first real like film project was when I was in front of a camera was with Columbia College. I did a thesis project. So I used to
Oh,
spend a lot of time downtown in Chicago too.
yeah. So then you got Columbia. So then, like you said, LA, How to Wait. I'm sorry, Drumline. You did
Yeah.
that sequel. And then after that, I think you worked your way up to The Bold and the Beautiful. It's so funny. My grandmother and my mother love like soap operas,
Yeah.
and I at first I was just kind of confused how it is because then they're telling me like it's something new every day, and I'm just
Yeah, yeah. It came on
like,
every day.
right, like how did you fit? Like how is that actually filmed? I'm really curious about that.
Uh, it's it's difficult, honestly. Some people say it's like the training master class for acting, because
Yeah,
once you do a soap, like you filming every day, Monday through Friday. I mean, the hours aren't crazy bad, but it's like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7 sometimes later.
hmm
But the difficult part of it is that you have like a multitude of material.
yeah,
So, because we shoot so much, because we have to air every day. You're
right,
basically watching somebody's life.
right,
You're watching them grow like every
right.
day,
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
can
more.
imagine. Yeah.
So you get like 40 pages for one day,
Okay.
and maybe you in most of those scenes, but you have dialogue, a lot of monologue stuff, paragraphs. So you can become two different types of, I say, actor, like as
Okay.
far as those kind of shows.
Yeah.
Um, I know people who do soaps who've been doing it for like 10, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And if you ask them, it's a job, so they go to work, they say the words, and then they go back home and they live a
Uh-huh.
comfortable life with their family. And then you have the other part of that, of the actors who are driven by more creative in a more creative space,
Okay.
where like that was me. I had to digest everything I was saying, make sure it all made sense to me. And it was very tedious work to do,
Yeah.
because you really don't have the time to really get comfortable with the material, because you got to go into work the next day and you got
Yeah.
to film this shit. And it's not like you get a lot of takes. You get like
Right.
one take or two takes unless you ask for one more. But you just got to be even more prepared. So it definitely it helped me build a lot of work habits. Moving forward to the other shows that I've done after that.
It's funny because I was it's literally like you said, the characters been on there. I remember as a
Yeah.
child, characters. I might go to my grandmother's house and she watching the stuff and I walk past and I'm like, damn, he's still on this TV show.
Hey man, there's a guy on Bold and Beautiful. He's been there. He was like from the very beginning. Been there for like 30 years.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Okay. So then you like you said, you're in LA, you living that LA life. What was the
Yeah.
difference between LA and Chicago? I mean, I know the women.
Mhm.
I always say Chicago women are, they different, but then
Yeah.
LA is like a different type of breed too, a type of woman.
What the thing is about LA is that you get like like a mixing pot, like a
Okay,
melting pot of a lot of different people. Because people come
right.
to LA, this is like the opportunity city. Like you come
Mhm.
out here to pursue, you can come out here to pursue makeup. Women come out here to pursue modeling, acting, music. I mean, it covers all the bases. This is like the mecca of the entertainment field here in LA, but definitely a more liberal place too. You know,
Yeah.
and first time moving to LA, it was a shock to me to see people out, that I had never seen before. Like
Mhm.
same sex, together, like especially even in Chicago, like I never really saw that growing up, you know. And
Yeah.
obviously I'm an advocate for that and I support everybody to go after whatever they want in life. So coming here, I was like, wow, this is like almost a different world, you know. And even being here, like especially like, the women being from different places coming here, everybody's really goal oriented, so everybody's trying to figure out how they can further themselves,
Mhm.
which kind of creates this energy where everybody's for themselves, so you don't really get to know anybody really well here, you know.
Mhm.
And some people move a lot, like 100,000 people move here a year, and equal that much move back to wherever the hell they came from, because it's
Yeah.
really tough to live here because it's really competitive, and whatever field you're trying to be successful in here,
Uh-huh.
there's always somebody new coming trying to take your spot. So it was like when I got here, the energy was really laid back though, like from the people that live here. And I just thought like right away, I was like, yeah, they sleeping here, so I kind of I recognized that, and I was like, I just started hustling, and I was hustling people that had been here for years. You know, I had talked to people that was acting for like 5 years, and they hadn't had that, essential role, had that opportunity yet, and they were just like, speaking things into existence, like, man, it's really hard. You won't get your first thing until you like yada yada yada. And I was like, nah, shit, that ain't gonna happen to me. It took me like 5 months, 6 months before I got my first role when I first got here.
Did you see? Now I ain't gonna lie to you. Did you see all the women that you might have seen like on Instagram or the different celebrities in person? Was it different compared to? What is it different
Yeah.
compared to seeing them on Instagram and
On the
then seeing them
gram?
in person? Yeah.
Look, I mean, listen, Instagram is just, this is like a person's version of themselves that they want you to see.
Right,
It's
right.
not a true representation of anybody,
Man, bro.
per se. This is like a really filtered, specific like version of a woman or whoever it is that they want you to see.
Yeah.
I've definitely, talked to some people and then met up with them, and I'm like, damn, you don't look like how you look, And a lot of them know it. They be like, yeah, I know I look different in my pictures, huh? I'm like, yeah, you a whole new bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even the same person. But it's all good though. I just let people do their thing, man. I don't take it personal or nothing, man. But people are definitely trying to, the wave is to try to create a lane for themselves and
Yeah.
and grow their popularity on the gram, man. It's a lot of superficial stuff here.
All right, so then fast forward, you know what I'm saying, to Tyler Perry.
Yes.
I think I was watching. I literally, what was it? The family funeral.
Yeah.
Medea, somebody, she didn't die, but I was watching the movie.
Somebody died. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was watching the movie. With the father died. No, what happened again? The mother died.
The dad.
The
My
dad died.
dad. My character's
Right,
dad died.
right, right. Your
Yeah.
character's father's passed. I literally saw it maybe about a month ago, or
Oh,
whatever.
word. Okay.
Yeah. So like, how was it working with Tyler Perry? Someone that I think obviously every black person done seen some
Yeah.
type of his work, or
Yeah.
anybody. You know what I'm saying? How is it working with him?
You know, he's probably one of the most influential like moguls or storytellers for our community,
Yeah.
for the black community. And whether or not people agree with his storytelling or not, everybody knows somebody that's like Medea in their life, in their family.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? An auntie, cousin, somebody that remotely resembles that. And I think that people don't give Tyler a lot of credit for bringing visibility to that. Because had he
Okay.
not been doing that, you wouldn't have these other characters that you see on TV now. Like, yeah, Medea is hella extreme and she do a lot of crazy shit. But he gave that character, and he literally employs so many like, ethnicities, especially like the black community. Like if you go, when I went to work with him in Atlanta, I had been on many sets already. I did movies. I've done a lot of shit by then. But when I walked on that set with him, every single person I saw was black, especially even behind the camera. And I had
Well,
never saw that. I had never saw like a black cameraman. I never saw like a black DP, and literally his whole crew cast, like you know, he basically employs like the whole Atlanta. He's essential to the reason why the economy is doing better, and he built a soundstage there that all of the bigger production companies use. And he's just a smart like businessman too,
yeah.
But one thing he did that was differently is that he operates in faith a lot, like he believes in God. And that's kind of like a taboo sometimes in the entertainment field. People don't really talk about God or try to implement God into their workspace. But when you work with him, like we do a circle prayer, right
Mhm.
before we start filming, like the whole cast, crew, everybody, you
Wow.
know. So and that's, even if you don't believe in God, it's a unifying thing, to sit there and to be guided in prayer right before we start our day,
Mhm.
and I've never been on another set like that, so
Yeah.
whenever I get the opportunity, I just try to shed light on how amazing it is that he's been able to accomplish what he has.
Mhm.
Initially he had Medea come out, and it was in plays. Like everybody knows about the Medea plays. We've all either seen a
Yeah.
video of them or something, right? Seen them viral clips and shit. But really, that's where he started at with it. And initially, like the production companies like Lionsgate and those other big ones didn't really want to pull the trigger on giving him the opportunity to bring it to screen, you
Wow.
know. And so he ended up putting the film out, and it doing well, he ended up getting like a 10-year like slot with Lionsgate, you know, and like for like 11 films or something. So my last film was the last film,
Okay.
and so that was like the last installment of the Medea family, you know, kind of franchise. And I mean, shit, it's always number one, number two, like number three in the box office. So he definitely knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And I think what's really important. Oh,
I
my
can't
bad.
see you no more, bro. Turn it around.
I was trying to. So somebody said to pin us, and I don't be knowing how to do all this stuff, bro. I'm
Yeah.
but so I'm trying to pin it. But I think what's really important that you said, because I get this argument a lot of times when I talk about HBCUs versus non-HBCUs, and a lot of people say that, you know, when you're around a lot of black people, you're not going to be prepared for the
Yeah.
real world, and you know, you only get this one side of life or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that you said that, you know, working at Tyler Perry Studios, you said that, you know, you constantly around a lot of black people. So
Definitely.
my question to you is, as you transitioned out of Tyler Perry, you know, working Have and Have Nots, doing the movie with him and all of that, and then you transitioned over to How to Get Away with Murder, you know,
Yeah.
yes, it's from Shonda Rhimes, but I'm pretty sure the set is a little bit more diverse. So my question to you is,
Mhm.
do you think that kind of held you back a little bit? Did you have to adjust a little bit more?
Nah, I can work on it in any circumstance. You know, I worked on a set where I'm like one of two of the only black people on set, you know.
Right.
When I was on the soap, I mean, we really only had, when I got there, it was only like two black people there, or anybody ethnicity wise was there. So that doesn't concern me at all. I think that it really wasn't a difference. I mean, the difference is with Shonda Rhimes is, you know, her shows always kind of advocate diversity. So even on our set, we had a lot of different ethnicities,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of different people that work behind the scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that really wasn't an issue for me at all going over there. What I needed to make sure I focused on was just being prepared. You know,
Okay.
working with Viola and working with that cast that had been there for a few seasons before I got there.
Yeah, so how was working on How to Way to Get a Murder? I know you guys just wrapped up the show, the series finale. I'm actually low key. I'm starting to binge watch it. I'm
Yeah,
like behind with stuff, bro. I'm gonna be
it's
honest with
all
you, but
good.
I,
It's
I
all good.
definitely know familiar with who you are and all that. But like,
Yeah.
how was it working on How to Get Away with Murder? You know, what is that the follow up towards? You know, when she was her peak with Grey's Anatomy, then Scandal, then How to Way to Get a Murder, How to
Yeah.
Get Away with Murder. Now she's doing stuff with Netflix. How
Yeah.
was that experience on being such a platform? Because I'm pretty sure your audience
Mm.
just
Yeah, I mean, it was dope. I mean, for me, I had already been a part of like franchise shows,
yeah
like I said before, with you know, Bold and Beautiful has its own like fan base. Like it's the most watched show in the world internationally. It's in the most countries, so it's like I got the most visibility, like, and also training with the media and talking to people by doing Bold
yeah
and Beautiful. And then I have Nuts has its own cult following, you know, because of Tyler Perry's name is attached to it, and also
yeah
it's like the biggest show that's on network, besides I think maybe Greenleaf or something like that.
yeah.
And then so coming into How to Get Away with Murder, like, there was a different set of pressure because it was you know, it's on primetime television, you know, and I'm working opposite of Viola a lot. And so initially, you know, I was anxious and I was nervous about meeting her because I mean, I had a lot of respect for her. I grew up,
Yeah.
you know, seeing all her films, and she's probably one of the most decorated actresses that are out there. You know what I'm
Does she
saying?
be
So,
laughing?
huh?
Is she like a serious person, or is she kind of like
She's funny. No, she actually
okay?
really funny. I feel like people don't really know that about her. But
Yeah,
she
she be
she be,
looking
she is
serious.
very insightful though, man. You know, I think that what I'll gain from most working with her is in between scenes, you know, talking to her and just hearing how she views the world. You know,
Yeah,
she was from a very poor background, and she went to Juilliard, and you know, she just really kind of just came up and created this career for herself to be like one of the best in the world. And
mm-hmm.
so knowing that myself, you know, it was like a huge deal to be able to work alongside of her. And so I wanted to just make sure I fit in, man, you know, and
Okay,
that I fit into this world, you know, because I'm entering a show where there's already like 4 or 5 seasons already before I got there, with 4 seasons. And so
okay,
the fans already had an idea of what they think about the show and how they feel about, you know, new characters entering the show. And this fandom in particular you know, it's really like 50-50, like with me. Like 50% of people like me, like my character. The other 50% like have no idea why I'm there. Like,
Okay.
you know, and you know, I just give it credit to the show being good and people not really wanting to be okay with change. You know, and
Okay.
that's the difficult part about entering the show is that, you know, sometimes the fans won't like you, man, and it is what it is. I don't take it personal, but yeah, the fans for How to Get Away, man. Some of them like they rude as hell. You
Yeah.
know, like they really are. They'll be like, "Why are you here?" You know, like, "No, what we want Wes back." I'm like, "Wes is dead. Y'all got
Right.
me. That's it."
That was the original black guy. I mean, I'm not trying to say it like that, but he was the first black
But
guy, right?
that's why a lot of people think like how you just said though. You
Right.
know, so because we both have similar skin color, I'm coming
Okay.
in after his character. And I think that it just triggered in a lot of people subconsciously that I was replacing this guy, right? And
Right.
Alfie's my guy. Like we talked a lot of times about this. And but that's not the case. I mean, we should be able to have more than one, you know, black brother on a show or me just enter a show without having that kind of preconceived notion about that. You
Yeah.
know, and that's kind of like a universal thing.
Yeah. This is really random. But have you when you like doing like a kissing scene on the show, have you ever come across somebody breath that thing? Like have you like do y'all say something to
No,
each
man.
other?
No, that ain't never happened to me before. A lot of times people real conscious about that. You know, we know when we got those scenes coming up, those kind of scenes coming up, and
Yeah.
even when I've had scenes like that with Asia, shit, we just be on top of it. You know, we take like
Uh,
a gum break, a mint break. You know, like we got shit on deck. Like we won't
yeah.
want either of us to be caught lacking. So, you know, that's
Because
funny
some
though.
people think celebrities, y'all are just so perfect. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they be musty, just
So
like
yeah, I
everybody
mean,
else.
some for sure. Some people do, man. You know, some people religious reasons don't put deodorant on. Some people,
Right.
you know, so you just people have their own way of doing things, and
Yeah.
especially with actors, like if they playing a character, you know, specifically, there's like method actors who completely just buy into whatever role that they doing. Meaning that if they play like a homeless guy, they fuck around and not shower, you know, for
Right.
2 weeks or so. You know, so
Yeah.
it just depends on what working space you in.
Okay. You know, I just had to ask that. So,
I mean, that's
so
cool, man. Hey, nobody ever asked that, but it's a real thing, you know. Some people
yeah,
breath do
I
get
mean, I
hot.
always
You know what I'm
say
saying?
people think that the work environment is just so perfect everywhere you go, and I'm like, I mean, this is still their job too. They're gonna have
Exactly. Yeah, y'all see
coworkers
people
that,
at work breath stink and be sweaty
yeah,
and doing a lot of shit, right? When y'all
yeah,
go to wherever y'all work at. Yeah.
right, exactly. Man, these comments are crazy. So real quick, so obviously, How the Way to Get Away with Murder has just wrapped up, but then your music career, you know what I'm saying, bro? You definitely talented. You
Appreciate
got your song, "Keep Me in Mind," the R&B song. I saw the video.
you. Yeah.
What's your musical inspiration and all of that?
I mean, I listened to a lot of like '90s, you know, R&B growing up. A lot of '80s stuff too. You know, I listen to Marvin Gaye. You know, Teddy Pendergrass. My dad used to play all that stuff. My mom used to play all that. You know, he used to play Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, so and even beyond that, you know, uh, my current like inspirations like people like Miguel. You know,
Okay.
people who have like amazing stage presence and just have this aura about them. And I went and just, you know, I watch how they perform and, you know, I've been in the studio with a lot of artists and seeing how they record. And, you know, it's just been able to help me to kind of cultivate the sound that I have and, you know, to put something out that I really like.
Yeah, man, we got to get your songs. If you from the crib, we should be first in line
I mean, I'm
to
with it,
hear
man.
the
You
songs.
know, definitely. It came out like 2 weeks ago. It's been getting some radio play. I don't know about in Chicago, but I mean, I definitely would love that. So we have to figure that
Yeah,
out.
absolutely, man. You definitely got to email us and we could try to put you on for sure, especially from the crib. You got to
Yeah,
represent constantly with that. So where do
most
you see
definitely.
yourself after the quarantine?
Hopefully working on something, man. You
Yeah.
know, I had some films that came in and everything just got put on hold. You
Yeah.
know, and but the only thing I've been able to do is, you know, music. Because
Mhm.
music, I don't really need nobody to do. You know, I just need my engineer. And
Okay.
if I'm writing with somebody else, you know, like I'll pull up to other sessions with, you know, other artists and stuff like that. But really, it's really limited. You don't need a lot of people to do it.
Mhm.
So hopefully, you know, when quarantine is over, I have a movie that I really want to do. you know, and actually I will. I have a movie I really want to do, a show that I really want to do, that I really want to get behind, and also, you know, to be done with my EP and have it out and ready, you know, this
Yeah.
year.
What artist? So here's a two-part question. What actor has kind of taken you under their wing, and give you great advice along with the musician?
You know, there's not a lot of actors, you know, slash musicians, singers, you know, that are doing it on a successful level, equally. There's a lot of people who do both, but one of them is Jamie Foxx. You know,
Right.
I've had a few conversations with him, and he's so underrated, man. He's so talented, like musically
Absolutely.
and also acting wise. You know, something just he was just trending on Twitter because he did this impression of Tyson, you know,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. But what people don't know is that he does that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like I was at his house and we was watching the finals. Um, what was it, last year or whatever it was, and we was talking about the game because the Warriors had came back and they won Game 5,
Right.
and he was talking about LeBron. He was talking about, and he was doing this impression of Bron and shit. It was like he looked just like him. Was doing all of his same mannerisms and everything, man.
Uh-huh.
Like he's like a chameleon. That's how I view myself. Like wherever you touch, wherever you put yourself, you know, you can kind of adapt and, you know, become whatever it is that you want, you know. And I definitely idolize him in that space.
Yeah. And what about the so both? So I guess Jamie Foxx are both.
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought you meant that's what you meant. I mean,
Yeah.
even for music wise, so you know, I mean for acting wise, you know, obviously Viola is somebody that definitely been giving me insight to a lot of things. You know, another one of my mentors, his name is Oba. If you know who he is, you gotta Google him. His name Oba Babatunde. Now he's been in like over 100 things, man. Like you seen the movie Life?
Yep.
Yeah, so he was the old dude in the wheelchair at the end, you know, when they was pushing him.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
was in that. He was in How High, you know, when he came into the
Yeah.
class and they was roasting the teacher and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was
That
like,
was him.
"Get him." That was him.
Wow.
He played Barry Gordy in Dreamgirls. Like he's been in so many things, but he's been a real influential uh, person in my life. You know,
Okay.
he's part of the reason why, you know, I won the Emmy that I won for Bold and Beautiful was was because of him, you know, because of his work ethic and how he approached doing the scenes. I started to do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it, you know, resulted me given the opportunity to win that award. But definitely, it's one of my big homies.
There we go, man. Once again, Rome Flynn, bro. I'm praying that you get. Was it the EGOT? The
I
EGOT?
want EGOTs. I want everything.
Yeah.
You know, I want the Grammy. I want whatever I can, man. I want it all.
Every award. Every award, man. We can't get the Source Award no more because that's pretty much dead. But
That's out there.
get everything else. Man, definitely appreciate you hopping on the live, bro.
Yes, sir, man.
We definitely got to get you in tune though with your
Yeah.
music and stuff here in Chicago. So
Hmm.
whoever your team is,
Yeah, I'm
please,
gonna have to set it up for sure.
yeah, email me. It's in my whatever. Email is in my thing, whatever they can email or whatever. We can get that happening. But yeah, definitely
But
appreciate you, bro, for hopping on the live. Stay safe
man, thank you,
and
man.
all
Be
of
safe.
that. And we wish you nothing but success, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you, Rome, Flynn. Thanks to Jack Daniels. Honey, appreciate you, Chicago.